Sahana bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Positive religion is when we use religion for the purpose that it is meant. The purpose of realization, the purpose of religion is that we realize the self. The true desire in religion, the desire with which we have to come to religion, which rarely happens, of course, but the desire with which we come to religion is known as mumukshatva. Very good. That is the only desire which should propel us towards religious pursuits. However, that's not what happens. All sorts of other desires propel us. So, when we are propelled by that ardent desire, that need for liberation, then we are doing positive religion. But what is it we want? We want liberation from the thraldom of this world. When it's how the religious teachers tell us we want liberation from the thraldom of this world, we say, what thraldom? I'm liberated. We got independence in 1947. What bondage are you talking about? Very innocently, we don't seem to understand how the world has captured us. I don't know if you ever read Animal Farm. Did you ever read Animal Farm? It's a book by George Orwell, where he talks about how all these animals, they decided to do self-governance, and then they threw out their owner, and the pigs became in charge of running the farm, and how these pigs manipulated the animals and the horse and all the others, and they basically lived a life of luxury while all the working animals worked very hard. So basically, the life of the animals after Jones the farmer left, and what was those pigs? Snowball, and who was the other? Napoleon and Snowball. After they came around, their life was no better. They were still under the same yoke. Now, we look at this and it is obviously meant to be a political commentary. However, if you look at it from a Vedantic point of view, you understand how actually the world is tricking you. We are bound in this world and we don't know we are bound. We are working hard over here, struggling, straining, putting in effort, not recognizing that we are being forced to do all this. We don't seem to get it. We are under, all we do is we change from Jones to Snowball to Napoleon. That's what we do. Once it occurs to you that you are being taken for a merry ride, not by the world really, but by
our own desire.
very good, by our own mind, then you try to figure out how do I leave the thraldom that is created by my own mind. I'm bound. I'm forced to see things the way I see them. I'm forced to behave the way I behave. I have no freedom of it. I don't have the freedom. What is the bribe the mind gives me? The world's biggest bribe,
Happiness.
the comfort. The mind tells us, you stay with me. I will keep you very comfortable. And we say, yes, yes, that is good. I will do this. We do not recognize the mess we are creating for ourselves. Every one of us caught up in that mess and no way of release from it. No way to release, forget, not recognize we've caught up in a mess. Releasing and all is much further away. But when you do realize how badly caught up you are by your own mind, now you want liberation. What? Why am I being bullied like this? Nobody should bully me. My own mind is bullying me. I'm out of here. Then what do you do? If you realize that, then what do you do?
You do positive religion.
So what do you do? Actually do.
You attend yoga, these classes.
Okay, number one. Number two.
Stop the mind as much as possible in interfering. Sorry.
So, morning studies. Morning studies.
Okay. That's number two. Then, no, not number one. Studies. All is number one. Number two.
The 3 yogas.
Okay, don't say 3 yogas. And then you have to say Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. Because they've already covered Jnana Yoga, right? So you
keep revising what you have learned. That is morning study. Yeah.
Well, 3 yogas in the briefest possible way. Once you understand that the need for liberation, you do Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. So what did we do? We did Bhakti Yoga. What was Bhakti Yoga? It was a course of devotion. Now, our mind is a very tricky fellow. Will he let you do the 3 yogas peacefully? No. He will love devotion and he will say, oh, this is wonderful. This mantra is so beautiful. That bhajan is so beautiful. I love to listen to music. I love to listen to devotional music. I love to go to temples. What has your mind done? It has trapped you again. And this time you don't know. This time you think, oh, I am doing Bhakti Yoga. No, Baba, you're gone into Bhakti Bhoga, not Bhakti Yoga. It is yoga only when it is being used for self-realization, to get rid of this thraldom. But the mind is bribing you again with
The comfort.
Yes, with the enjoyment of the bhajans. So, aha, Bhimsen Joshi is singing, wah, 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 wah. Mind is bribing you. You are saying, yeah, very good. अब चल पड़े भक्ति योगा के पीछे. Otherwise, you fall for Jnana Yoga. What did Sage Ramakrishna Paramahamsa say? What did Vivekananda say? What does the Upanishad say? What does the Quran say? What does the Bible say? What does the Bhagavad Gita say? Let me see everything. Let me find out everybody's opinion. The mind has tricked you again. It has taken you from reading newspapers to reading every sage and what they had to say. How many people over here take one book and study it until they can claim to be a master of that book? Nobody. They say, oh, Vedanta Treatise. I've read it. Now let me read something else. Pagal ho kya? Only one book is enough for the rest of our lives. We don't need any other book. One book. Vedanta Treatise, of course, has the entire knowledge. So it's a great book. If you're reading one book, then Vedanta Treatise. But the thing is, we are so caught up. Then if you start reading, okay, my teacher told me, read only Vedanta Treatise. So I will read only Vedanta Treatise. Oh God, now you've fallen in love with Vedanta Treatise. Hey Bhagwan, ab iska kya kare? The idea is to use these things to get that heaven out of here. You don't want this. You don't want Vedanta Treatise. You don't want Jnana Yoga. You don't want Bhakti Yoga. You just want to get out of here. That's all your interest. But these are your tools. And you will use these tools. That's why listen, please, carefully. Then you'll say, one day you say study Vedanta Treatise. Next day you're saying you've fallen in love with Vedanta Treatise. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Use these books as a tool for self-realization, not as a hobby class in itself. Oh, I go to Saturday class. I'm very regular. I never let anything interfere with my Saturday class. Mad or something? Is Saturday class important? What is important? You're muted, Aparna.
Means is important. Means is important.
What we learn from there.
What are you using it for? Is it for mental satisfaction and comfort? Or is it for growth? What are you using it for? Right. And then, of course, comes our Karma Yoga. How much Karma Yoga are we doing? Either there are only two kinds of people, those who do Jnana Yoga or those who don't. But there is no kind of person who's seeking the truth. There are those who do bhakti and there are those who don't. But who is seeking the truth? And there are those who are filling their time with karma or they're not doing karma. But who is using it as a means to truth? So there are only two categories of people. They either love religious things or they don't like it. And both are in the same mess. You know, some people, when we go, especially when you go to tell people about Vedanta University, two kinds of people. One who will say, what is the use of your Vedanta University? You should go feed the poor, you should do whatever their theories on life are. Or what's the use of the university? One kind. Other kind say, oh wow, this is such a fantastic idea. What the director of education, joint director of education told Jayashree, she came back very excited. She said, he's saying, ऐसे तो कोई नहीं कर रहा है, आप जरूर करना, ये बहुत important है. Right, Jayashree? Please tell them, otherwise they'll think I'm faking it.
Yes, absolutely. And when I asked him to put it on record, he's not doing that.
He told her, this is fantastic, ये वो ये. तो मदद क्या करोगे? नहीं हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. अरे तो what is the use of saying it's so great then? कुछ कर तो सकते नहीं अपन. You tell people, oh, we need funds and all, they will say, don't worry, you're doing great work, that money will come to you. Arey, come. Nobody is working, but the money will come. How does this happen? So there are two kinds of people in the world, those who are running behind doing karma and those who are staying away from. But how many are using that as a tool for their growth? How many of us understand that the reason we are putting up the university is because we have to serve to realize the self? Now, since you have to serve, you have to ask yourself the question, what is the service which I could do, which would do the greatest good to the greatest number of people? And if their answer is putting up the Vedanta University, for those whom their answer is that, they work for it. Even on our website, we've written. I don't know, has anyone read what's on our website? I doubt it. Has anyone bothered to read it? It's written there. To spread the knowledge of Vedanta, to build a university as an act of self-purification. That's very important because it's not karma yoga unless you're doing it for that purpose. Otherwise, good people do good work, they do charity, they do good, they go and help people in need and all that. Good people, not spiritual people. They are not doing positive relation. Right. So when you look at all this whole thing, what is the main idea?
That all these are the tools to the end.
Of
Self-realization.
right. Right. So you get that, right? Now, so he's just telling us. So who will read the next paragraph?
I will read Janki.
Please.
The general idea, therefore, is to fix your attention and concentration upon the inner self in and through your transaction of life. Let the body be employed in your obligatory functions. Your mind feel its various emotions. Your gross intellect entertain multifarious thoughts of the world, but your subtle intellect must remain anchored to the self within. Thus, one part of your intellect should be ever glued to the self, while your equipments are engaged in their respective activities. One wonders how this could be put in actual practice in life. So here he's saying our aim should be um, our goal should be we should what is it? Our attention and concentration should be on the self. Our one eye should be on the outer world, and inner eye should be on the self. That is the point he want to mention.
Okay.
And how it is to be done, it is explained in the next paragraph.
Yes, very good. So what is the general idea? Your attention is on the self and you function in the world. Now, you may think that if you notice, there's a very subtle shift that took place in this paragraph. Do you notice a shift in this paragraph?
For the first time, we're bringing into account the subtle intellect.
Okay, fine. Anything else? There is a very subtle shift that took place between the last three paragraphs and this one.
Talking about the gross intellect?
Yeah, I mean, Jnana Yoga is gross intellect. What is that? There's a certain shift that took place over here, if you notice.
You act, but your mind should be on the self.
Right. That is what he was saying. But here is a slight shift taking place. A subtle one. Okay, so let's go back. What did he say? Positive religion is when you come to religion.
Use for
You come for the sake of self-realization. When you do that, you have three methods. What do you start? Bhakti, Jnana, and Karma. Now, this paragraph, read it carefully. Pay attention to what he says because he's usually very precise in what he says. He just doesn't say, man mein aaya to bol diya. So look at this. Let your body be employed in your obligatory functions. Your mind feel its various emotions. Your gross intellect entertain multifarious thoughts of the world. What is the difference? When you hear the terms Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, you think in terms of these are the special things you do when you're on the spiritual path. But that's not the spiritual path. The spiritual path is 24/7. So it is not that you've just taken out 1 hour in your day to do Jnana Yoga, 1 hour in your day to do Karma Yoga, 1 hour in your day to do Bhakti Yoga. It's not like you're spending half an hour with bhajan, maybe a few hours with karma, maybe 1 hour with studies, and then there's the rest of your day. So in our minds, it divides into two things. There is all these material things I have to do, and all these spiritual things I have to do. I have to earn money. That is a which cat basket is it falling in?
Materials.
Material.
I have to take care of my family. Which basket?
Materials.
I have to work for Vedanta University.
Spiritual.
I have to listen to bhajans.
Spiritual.
Right? So in our mind, we break it up into this. In this paragraph, we learn that there is no such breakage. There is no such thing that I've studied 1 hour in the morning and that's it. No. That in all the analysis you do, suppose you're saying, should I marry this person or not? I often get that. Recently also I got it. Somebody has a person that they are intending to marry. And their question is this the right person? Should I marry this person or not? The real question is,
Why am I marrying this person for?
How will it help me reach my goal?
No, am I right? Am I the right person?
Go.
I don't know.
I knew somebody was going to say that. No, Jayashree, they beat you to it this time. No, not whether I'm the right person. Most people take it. Am I marrying the right person? They want to replace it as, am I the right person? Meaning, look at yourself. But in spirituality, take it one step further. You say, is this union helping me realize the self? Because only then I'm going to do it. So there is no division between the secular and the sublime in Vedanta. There's no division at all. Either you want liberation or you don't. And if you want liberation, then everything you do is for liberation only. When you go to a movie, this is not a material activity. If this movie is going to help you in attaining liberation, please go attend it. Because anything you do, you have only one question. Is it helping me in my path? If so, I do it. If not, I don't. It's a very clear thing. Because it can't be that 3 hours a day I want liberation, rest of the time I want to make money. ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. What you want is what you want, correct? So every decision in life is this taking me to my goal? Okay, then the question should be, is this the sadhana I want? Yes, very good. Is this the sadhana I want? Correct. Where are all our bachelors? No bachelors are here today in class. I don't know what happened. So, Deep Raj, it's only for you. Is this the sadhana I want? So, excuse. So there is, if you look at this, the previous paragraphs gave you the feeling that you're going to do something additional. This paragraph tells you that it's not additional. It is just part of the same everyday business of living. So that means that doing karma yoga is not taking out time, not necessarily taking out time to do something different, but all the time in your life, functioning with this notion that I am in this for liberation. That is the notion with which you're functioning at all times. So how to function like that? Hey, Baba, whatever in this world you want, you function with that notion. If you want love, then everywhere you go, you say, oh, is this person loving to me or not loving to me? Have you not noticed? I know, sir, I don't want to tag people, but elderly housewives and all, when they go to a party and they come back, how do they report it? They say that person was so loving, that one was so not loving. All that talk is around this. Who was showing affection and who बड़ी प्यार से मिले हम लोगों को. All their conversation is around who gave them love and who did not give them love. Right? If you take a businessman and he goes to a party and he comes home and he reports what happened at his party, and then you say, पता है उसका 100 क्रॉस करे, नहीं कैसे किया, बहुत स्मार्ट आदमी है. His turnover is 100 crores. So he's noticing that. He's not concerned he loves me, doesn't love me. उसका दामाद ने ना 100 क्रॉस किया. But his wife will say, उसका दामाद ना कितना अच्छा बात करता है, मेरे पैर भी छुए. So talking about the same person, but completely different. And if there's a teenager in the house, what will the teenager say? Did you see his smartwatch? What a great watch. Each one looks at the world based on
his desires.
his desires. So when you want liberation, that is how you will look at the world. How is it possible to look at the world like that? Even now you're looking at the world like that. Everyone is looking at it through the lens of their desires, whatever their desire. If Jayashree meets anyone, her first question will be, how will
How
he
much
help
fun?
me? Yes. How will he help me raise funds for the university? Okay, you go and take that job. It will give you 1 crore a month. What will she say?
You are number one.
No, she will say, yeah, maybe I'll take it. 1 crore a month will be good for the university, Everything is looked at from that angle. So the moment you want something, you are bound to look at it like that. Think of a teenager in college. And the teenager in college has to decide whether or not to go for the, I don't know, do they still have those like, what are these things called when all the kids go to that event in college?
Prom.
Yeah, prom. Prom is a foreign word, but here also in college we used to have that. There's like something. Let's call it prom. Now this person has to go to prom. What is the one question in that person's mind? Remember, please, you all are not so old. You all remember what happened. When you had to go to that party at college, what was your question?
What will I wear?
Now, what will I wear? वो होगी क्या?
Yeah, who's coming?
वो आने वाला है क्या? मतलब वो कौन? वो. You don't even have to say who is this. Right? So whenever you have a desire, you're going to see it through that. So when you have a desire for liberation, you will see it through that. So how can I do all my activities with my spiritual goal in mind? I have to feed my family. I have to go to the doctor. If you want liberation, you do everything with that in mind. You'll go to the doctor with the thought of liberation. You'll feed your family with the thought of liberation. You'll get a job with the thought of liberation. One fellow called me from the US a little while ago. He is telling me, I have two opportunities. Somebody offered him a job. He said, I have two opportunities, opportunity X and opportunity Y. I'm not giving you too many details because there's a tendency amongst people to try and figure out who is this person. Never mind who is this person. So opportunity X, opportunity Y. And he said, opportunity X is actually giving me less money and Y is giving me more money. It's a better paying job. But I'm thinking of taking opportunity X, which gives me less money, because it will leave me free to pursue my sadhana. Am I on the right track when I think like this? So
Yes.
Yes? I
Yes.
don't know or no. That I won't answer. But what I'm trying to say is, think about the questions. The question is it going to help my sadhana? That's the question. That's how a sadhak looks at it. Incidentally, I answered the question with no, Meera, just for your information. So,
Not me, ma'am. Somebody else.
Oh, who said? Who said yes?
Me, sorry. Komal.
Komal. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, Komal. No, I answered it with no for whatever it's worth. Vedanta wisdom. Omkar?
In the context of this paragraph, this person, in my mind, should have taken the higher paying job because you're supposed to be working in the world with your one part of your intellect on the higher. So it doesn't matter whether you're working more or less. I mean, whenever you're working, but your one part of the mind is the intellect is on the self, right?
It's not only that, it is how much are you challenging yourself also. You cannot grow in stagnation. If you take a job which is very comfortable to you, if you take every option which is comfortable to you, how are you ever going to grow? When are you ever going to challenge yourself? So most people choose any option based on the degree of comfort in it. So let's say we have to go to class. Do we want to attend online or do we want to attend offline? And how are you making this choice? That's very important. I mean, you can choose either. But how are you making this choice? 99% of the time, it's based on
Mind.
Comfort.
Comfort.
comfort. See, everyone gets this one. It's based on comfort. Online meeting, in-person meeting. I'm making this decision based on
Comfort.
Comforts.
Marry X or marry Y. I'm taking this decision based on
Comfort.
always.
Comforts.
Everything is my comfort. That is the biggest thing in my life. And that is my bondage. That I don't seem to get at all. Like, because I'm comfortable, I cannot reach my potential. Because I want comfort. That's my bottom line of all things. So it is not just that I have to keep my mind on the higher, because sometimes that's comfortable. I will sit at home. I will do nothing. I will do bhajans of the Lord. Then I will wash my clothes and I will make my lunch and I will say, see, I'm doing all my obligatory duties and my thought is on the Lord. I'm doing perfect sadhana. No. Whoever told you that? That is why nobody likes to be with a teacher. Why not?
The teacher will point this out.
The teacher makes you uncomfortable. Every time you go anywhere near the teacher, you become more and more uncomfortable. So you say, "Ay, Baba, nahi, online hi acha hai." So, okay, Omkar, it is not about just keeping your mind on the higher. It's how much have you challenged yourself into growth? How much are you able to break the shell of likes and dislikes?
Hariom Janaki ji, can I ask a question?
1 second, Ganesh, I'll just come to you. Deepraj had put a question which I had not seen. Better than, is this the sadhana I want? Is this the sadhana I need? Yes. This is the sadhana I need. Want is also okay. Even if you want it, you can take it. Yes, go ahead, Ganesh. Yeah. I'm seeing sunlight coming into your room. Isn't it freezing there?
No, I am come back to Mumbai.
Oh, you're back in Mumbai. Okay.
Okay. So it's looking strange. All right, ma'am. But that person, just an example, if he has time for sadhana, for studies, for doing volunteer work, then he should have taken it, right? Because it's a very good situation to be in than a person working for long and not able to focus on his spiritual growth. This is a perfect situation life has to offer, no? At this point of time.
No, because, I mean, he eventually took the more comfortable job. Now you go and ask him, what volunteer work are you doing? What sadhana are you doing? Let's find out. There will be nothing being done because the real reason was comfort. As a matter of fact, initially he used to do much more than when he got this job.
Very interesting.
Thinking, the whole personality, the whole thing starts sinking. You have to do more, increase. And you will collapse if you increase. So what will you be forced to do? So you can't keep on increasing work, right? 24 hours, how much work will you do? But you have taken on challenges and it has to increase. Your productivity has to increase. You have simply no time. What are you forced to do?
Become more efficient. Yeah, sorry.
Become more efficient. And to become more efficient, you have to do what?
Intellect, morning study and plan.
Yeah, you have to engage your intellect. You can't afford to say, okay, ab sab chal raha hai, acha chal raha hai. You have to engage very consciously and stretch at it. That's how your intellect will grow, no? Otherwise, chalo, let's all relax. Let's all take it easy. Sab baith ke bhajan gaate hai. And then they're all tottering idiots.
Thank you, ma'am.
The whole thing is whether even when you do social work or you go out and help people, people will tell you, they will say this. Why do you do this social work? You ask them. क्यों आप उनको खाना दे रहे हो? Why are you looking after the cancer patients? Why are you doing whatever in the world you're doing? And they're all doing good work. I mean, it's very, very touching to see the kind of wonderful work these people are doing. Please don't run them down. The point here is not to run these people down. They're doing incredible work. But if you ask them quietly, why do you do it? Then their answer is, मन को सुकून मिलता है. They don't get it that at the end of the day, it's all about becoming more comfortable. They're better people than us. Please don't misunderstand. If you take on such jobs, they're definitely better than us. There is sattva, but there's stagnation and sattva. So even when they go to temples, so when people ask you, why did you go to that temple? What did you get at Kumbh Mela? There'll be one word. What is that word?
Shanti.
Shanti. ये शांति कौन है भाई? ऐसे नहीं मिलती. You can't. We are withdrawing from work to find peace. It will never work. In Vedanta, there is no concept of retirement. There's no concept. Is there any date that you have ever read that at this age you must retire? No, you're going to work till the last day of your life. And why are you going to work till the last day of your life? Because till the last day of your life, you are enjoying the benefits of this world. So how can you say, okay, I'll take all the benefits, but I have worked enough? Arey, but you're still taking benefits, so please work. Work doesn't mean you need a job and a career. It means you need to be a contributing member in whatever way you are capable of. So when we work with the desire for liberation, and we do our everyday activities for it, not separate activities, but it is all one thing in our mind. It is not separate things that I have a spiritual life and a material life, but it's a one thing. I am here for liberation, and everything I do comes under that one umbrella. Whether I'm doing my PhD in mathematics or I'm running the what do you run? The IKS in Vedanta wisdom. It's one thing. It's not different. Whether I am bringing up my child or I'm running to the plot to see whether the pits are dug and whether the water has come, it is one thing, not different things. Because the purpose of my life is only one. So everything I do is only for that one reason. And how is it that you remember it? Is because that's what you want. But initially, that's not what you want. Now, here's where the problem starts. Now, when it's not what you want, what can you do? You have to create the want. How will you create the want? For that, you have to define. What is a want? Can you define it? What is a want? Define.
A flow of thought towards a particular object.
Wonderful. Excellent. I hope the rest of you all knew it. We should not let Deepraj answer anymore. No? I don't know whether the others are. No more answering for you, Deepraj. You have been debarred now. Excellent. Fantastic. What is a want? A want is nothing but a flow of thoughts. That's all it is. Right. Now I don't want the self. I don't want liberation. Now what am I supposed to do?
Self-development.
What am I supposed to do?
Just the flow of thoughts to something higher.
Not something higher, to the self. We're keeping on one track only. We're not making it relative at the moment. Relative, you people can make on your own. Enough you all have learned about making it relative. Now let us make it absolute again. Right? So what is a want? A flow of thoughts. I don't want the self. That means my thoughts are not flowing to the self. I want to get the want for the self. Therefore, I have to do whatever it takes to make my thoughts flow there. So how is that? He's given an example. Let us read the example. Who will read it? Kinnari, will you read the next paragraph?
Yes, sure. The practicality of this discipline is brought out by the example of Indian classical music. In a public concert, the musician has a background note playing behind him all through his performance. It is called Shruti. He renders a variety of songs with different ragas, tunes, and thalas beats. But all along his performance, he is attuned to the Shruti, the note behind. One part of his concentration is always on the note. He keeps that invariable while he goes through the variable songs, ragas and thalas. A classical musician will not sing without the Shruti, whereas a layperson would find the background note disturbing while he sings. So he's trying to tell this thing of how one part of your intellect should always be attuned to the self, and your body, mind, and intellect should continue doing the obligatory duties, with the example of a musician, classical musician, that how there is a background note playing, his thought is always attuned to that and not with the ragas and thalas. I mean, they are helping him out in his music, but his attention is always to the background note.
Right.
Where he also says a lay person might get disturbed by that, but not a person whose thought is attuned to the self.
Very. So clear, how can it be possible that you're thinking of the world also, you're thinking of God also? Should I think of the world or should I think of God? You think of both. Just like the Shruti is going on behind. Now, when the Shruti is going on, it's not a disturbing noise for me. What is happening if you think about it? For those who are aware of how this works, music has some notes. The songs have those notes. Now, you are singing with your vocal cords or whatever it is you're singing. Now, you do not know, may not, whether your sur is coming out correct or not. Right? So, when you're hearing that sa pa sa, you have something to constantly compare it with. It's going on in the background, right? It goes sa pa sa, it goes on. Only this much goes on. And so you have got this, you've got one part of your mind attached to that sa pa sa, and then your notes are all based on whatever scale that is on. Because you can't take a sa from some other scale or a pa from some other scale or some ra from some other scale. You have to be in that one only. I mean, unless you're going to the next scale or the one before. It's part of the song, that's different. But you're using that as your anchor, as it were, in moving the notes and making sure they're right. Now, for us who don't do any such thing, हम तो गाते हैं. Problem दूसरों का होता है. But for the musician, he has to keep in that. So similarly in life, when you're living a classical life, that thought of your goal is always there. And your comparison to whatever you're choosing to do or not do is within the umbrella of that goal. Just like the classical musician is hearing those notes and then moving his own based on whatever tal or rag he wants to sing. So exactly that way, we have to live our life. In the background, that which I ultimately want is always there. And I'm modulating my life's choices and behavior and thoughts in accordance to that. If I keep doing that, or to the extent I keep doing that, that sound in my head will become more and more. The desire is growing because of the repetition of it. It's a beautiful example. Otherwise, many people have this feeling, how can you do both? Think of God also, think of wife also. You can. Just like when you're driving somewhere, you think of your destination and you think of the things that are happening on the road. A child is running in front of your car, you brake, right? You don't think of destination. You brake your car. You don't say I have to reach there. What do you mean you have to reach there? The car is child in front of your car. Down, you will brake. Right? So just like that, you've got what you're going, where you're going at the back of your head, and then you're modulating your behavior. There are times you may have to stop doing things, just like you brake the car because the child came in front. But now you realize that now this is currently an emergency. I have to stop at the moment. Once the child is safe, I will continue. So just like you remember your destination while you're driving, just as the classical singer remembers his Shruti when he's singing, so too sadhana takes place. Just as the sailor knows north, his compass shows him north, but all his decisions are taken based on that one thing. So you see, it's not just in spiritual sadhana you're doing that all the time, right? You always have that at the back of your head, and whatever else decisions are taken based on that. Right. Who will read the next paragraph? Who has not read for a very long time?
Just one thing on this, Janki. So the examples you have given are examples, but in real life,
that is a wonderful statement, Kalyan.
yeah, because these are analogies which are easy to understand. But in your daily life, let's say you with your family, you're sitting and having breakfast, there's a conversation about some movie or something, let's say. So how do I think of the self and in this situation, or in a meeting in an office when there are multiple views on something? So that is the thing. It's very, I mean, we get it that you have to, the Shruti for a trained musician will help him or her practice or do the thing well. But in these situations, in regular, and that's where the issue is, no? Because you're saying all of us have to 24/7 practice this.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying this is what spiritual life is. That you should or you should not is your decision. This is what spiritual is.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So now, how do you do it? You're at the breakfast table. You've just seen a movie. Which is a movie in town? I better go see some movies, otherwise I'll run out of examples very fast. I only remember like guide movie or some such thing. बहुत पुराना हो गया. I better see some new movies now.
Not worth it, Janki ji.
No, but then now what to say in class? If I talk of guide, then Deepraj will say, what guide? So I need another one. Jayashree, please organize some movie session. We'll all go see a movie. Any movie, doesn't matter. Some movie. Okay, so now you've seen. Give me name of a movie. Which is the last movie you saw, Kalyan?
Interstellar. It was released, so I saw it yesterday again.
Interstellar.
Pushpa 2.
Okay. Pushpa, that's a movie. Acha, chalo, you saw Interstellar. There was some character in Interstellar. Tell me some character.
Let's say Dr. Mann.
Dr. Mann. So Dr. Mann is a Hindi movie or English movie?
English.
Okay, Dr. Mann. Okay, Mann sounded like a Hindi movie. Okay, so Dr. Mann. Your wife says, I really liked Dr. Mann. And according to you, Dr. Mann was a terrible fellow. Right? I mean, he didn't, whatever, the actor, whoever acted Dr. Mann, he did a damn good job. And according to you, you say, no, he was such a bad actor, I could hardly sit through the movie. Okay? Now your wife has said on the breakfast table, Dr. Mann, see, Nalla irukku. No, you're not Tamil, right? You're Tamil? Okay, sorry. Okay, it was very good. Right. Then your instinct is to say, what nonsense, he was so horrible, I hated him. But you remember, at the back of your mind, the Shruti is going on. Harmony, harmony, harmony. Then you will not say, I didn't like him. You'll say, yeah, you liked him? Oh, that was nice. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. You don't have to fake it, but okay, why? Because now you try and tell her, I thought he was terrible. Then what will happen? No dabba for you today. That is what will happen. So that Shruti is always to be on. That what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to fight with her? Or am I trying to have a breakfast conversation? Right? So now you have been able to place relationship above your intention of saying something. And slowly you raise. So slowly it will come to, okay, by my stating my view, am I going to learn anything new? By listening to her point of view, maybe I will learn something new. So you keep on raising it. Okay, but there's always something at the back of your mind, on the basis of which you're taking a call of what to say or what to do. And that
Right.
thing needs to stay fixed.
This example of the basis in this example, let's say harmony or disharmony in relationship. But that should also should stand the test of whether it is taking me to the goal of self-development or self-realization. That is the, so how does,
that
how
you
do I,
already figured out because you've placed the goal of harmony, right? So you already figured out why you want harmony for development. Because you're fighting with your wife, what development will happen? She'll stop you from attending class. If you want to go to a retreat, she'll say, now you want to go to a retreat. I want to go to Mauritius. Unnecessary. Because what is the base of a relationship? What is the one fundamental thing of a relationship? Remember this. It's like a bank account. You have to put in more than you withdraw. If your deposits do not exceed your withdrawals, you are in trouble. Now, because we are imperfect beings, we will have withdrawals. Because we are imperfect, we will do silly things, we'll irritate our partners. But we should have had more deposits now. We are not in overdraft all the time. So that's my sense of service. So I am maintaining service to have harmony, to develop myself.
okay.
But these links we have to form in our own head, no? Because if you don't form them, then you're right. Then it becomes dogma-dole. Suppose you don't know the correlation between sa, pa, and sa. How are you going to sing? Because you know which notes have to stick between sa and pa, and which notes have to be between pa and sa. You have to know their interrelationship. Na?
So, for example, sometimes I don't know whether it is very basic or very frivolous, but I'm trying to have the mnemonic saying that God is in him also and me also when I'm quarreling with a colleague.
Okay.
So is that a right way of?
I mean, as long as you are quarreling, it's probably not working. The idea is you think like that and then there is no quarrel. There is only a whatever, you have to, in your role, obviously, as the head of HR, you will have to hire people, fire people, tick them off, tell them this you didn't do, that you didn't do. But when you recognize the God in him, you do it respectfully. So that his ego doesn't get involved and the job gets done.
Yeah. So trying to keep the self-esteem, all that stuff in the right place.
Yes. So, but with the intent that I'm doing my best so that I attain self-purification. I'm doing the very best I can in my role for the sake of self-purification. So when your ego gets involved, you say, okay, I have to put this aside. Or sometimes you have to be egoistic because the situation demands it. See, as head of anything, if you're always like luchu puchu, then nobody will listen to you. So you have to take a very strict and no nonsense stand. So you take it. You have no personal interest in this because your interest lies elsewhere. So when you fix that internal thing properly, the end result is everything else works. When it doesn't work, something is wrong.
Yeah. Okay, Janki. Thank you.
Okay, so far so good. That positive religion means the desire, not the grudge. Positive religion means
For mumukshutva.
the desire for mumokshatra. Very good. For this, you start by undertaking the 3 paths of karma, bhakti, jnana. And as you do this, what happens? What happened?
The desire strengthens towards mukshatva.
Okay, that will come next. But before that, as you start doing, you get up in the morning and study, you maybe do 1 hour of bhajan, maybe do 1 or 2 hours of karma. What will happen?
Worldly desires reduce and
quality of desires improve.
Hey,
The direction
Bhagwan,
changes.
nobody was listening.
It becomes a 24/7 thing.
Very good, Vidushi. Where are you all been discussing what we did today? Not whole Vedanta treatise, don't tell me now. What did we do today? Very good. Say again, Vidushi.
It becomes a 24/7 thing.
Very good. It becomes 24/7. It's no longer 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 hours you're putting in it. It becomes your life. Your whole world, you transact anything at any time only with that Shruti behind you for that particular reason. Just like any turn you take in your car is with that destination. When your child runs in front of the car, you will slam your brakes. If the road is closed, you will take another route. If you're running out of fuel, you go to the petrol pump. But everything you're doing with that destination in mind. You sometimes recognize that now I cannot go. There's a child in front of me, I cannot go. I have to stop. So every decision you take with that goal in mind. And it's like a Shruti in our mind at all times. Now you're on the spiritual path. Okay, so that's it for today.